All right, y'all, we about to react to the dumbest lottery winners of all time, but make sure you stay tuned to the end because I'm about to give you some actionable steps on why you need discipline before you need money. Let's get into it. And we live on stream. Tune in, AveryB 99. Let's get it.
From accidentally throwing a £3 million lottery ticket in the bin to spending an entire $16 million prize in under 90 days. These are the absolute dumbest lottery winners of all time, beginning with Jose Antonio Cuartoc, who almost lost his entire lottery fortune after getting someone else to claim the money for him. You see, when Jose won the $750,000 jackpot back in 2010, he was living in the US illegally, so Jose asked his boss to claim the prize on his behalf, as he feared he couldn't claim the money without potentially facing legal trouble and deportation. This worked out perfectly until Jose's boss began to falsely state that he was the one who had accidentally throwing a ticket. Taking legal action against his boss was risky, given Jose wasn't supposed to be in the country at all. However, given he had security camera footage of him purchasing the ticket, Jose did so and was able to prove that he was the rightful owner to the $750,000 prize. Only $250,000 of this went to taxes, another $250,000 was spent on court fees, and throughout the legal process, Jose was jailed for drunk driving and was deported back to Guatemala as soon as he won the court case. However, at least Jose Antonio Cuartoc got to keep some of his winnings, as Denise Rossi wasn't so fortunate. When Denise won a jackpot of $1.3 million back in 1996, she'd been married to Thomas Rossi for over 25 years, yet their relationship was apparently lacking in transparency, as Denise didn't tell her husband about the win, and instead filed for divorce only 11 days after buying the lucky ticket. I was afraid to tell Thomas because I knew he would try to take the money away from me. I went to the Lottery Commission office and
Shorty won the lottery and then divorced her husband. Wow.
Told them I was married but contemplating divorce. They told me to file before I got my first check, which I did. Denise was initially successful in hiding the money from her now ex-husband, as for a whole 2 years after their divorce, Thomas had no idea that Denise had ever won the lottery. However, in May 1999, a letter was sent to Thomas's home address, asking if Denise was interested in a lump sum buyout of her lottery winnings. This was the first Thomas knew about the lottery prize. He confirmed that Denise was a winner with the California lottery, and given they were still married at the time of the win, Thomas launched a lawsuit stating that he was entitled to half of the prize money.
Take half or
He found that Denise's failure to disclose the lottery winnings constituted fraud, oppression, and malice, and as a result, the trial court awarded Thomas 100% of the lottery winnings, which left Denise with less than nothing, considering
he got the whole thing. She tried to run off. She won the lottery, ain't tell her husband because she wanted the whole thing. He sued her and he eventually got the whole thing. W civil court case, bro, because eventually, I ain't gonna lie, they be favoring the females, so the fact that they let him do that, that's a W. And she thought,
she also had to pay for her own legal fees. However, Denise's loss of $1.3 million was still nothing in comparison to Evelyn Adams. Dubbed the luckiest woman in America, Evelyn Adams became the first person in human history to win the lottery twice, initially for $3.9 million in October 1985, before winning another $1.4 million only 4 months later. With the probability of this win being approximately 1 in 17.3 trillion, Evelyn seemed to realize she had no lottery luck left by stating that she was going to quit playing and instead began to buy various businesses, including the convenience store where the lucky tickets had been purchased. While you could argue that this was a smart move, Evelyn still hadn't fixed her gambling problem, and instead of buying more lottery tickets, she instead took the rest of her winnings to the Atlantic City casinos, where she lost her entire remaining fortune to the slot machines. Without any money left, her businesses failed one after the other, and by 2012 Evelyn was living in a trailer park while stating to the media winning the lottery isn't always what it's cracked up to be.
Now she Kelly Rogers. Oh my gosh, bro, she f***ed up 2 lottery winnings, bro. Yo, I'm gonna tell y'all at the end how to avoid all of this, bro, because all these people was lacking one thing. If they had this one thing, I guarantee you none of this would have happened.
Likely had a similar outlook, as after winning over £1.8 million at the age of only 16, her life was also ruined. Initially, Kelly stated, "I will not go wild and spend loads. I'm gonna take some advice and see an accountant. Hopefully I will make us all comfortable. I want to help my family, but I won't change. I just want a normal home, nothing posh. I just want a normal car as well." However, as soon as she received the money, Kelly instead spent £11,500 on 2 boob jobs, 3
boob jobs, bro. You're fucking 16. The fuck are you talking about?
£300,000 on clothes, makeup, and tattoos, as well as £85,000 on top of the range sports.
Did she not just say she wanted a regular car? Am I tripping, or did she not just contradict all of this? What the f? She said she wasn't gonna do none of that.
Initially, Kelly stated, "I will not go wild and spend loads. I'm gonna take some advice and see an accountant. Hopefully I will make us all comfortable. I want to help my family, but I won't change. I just want a normal home, nothing posh. I just want a normal car as well." However, as soon as she received the money, Kelly instead spent £11,500 on 2 boob jobs, £300,000 on clothes, makeup and tattoos, as well as £85,000 on top of the range sports cars. Kelly spent a further £250,000 on holidays to locations including Mexico and Euro Disney, £118,000 on gifts to former boyfriends, £190,000 in unreturned loans to friends and family members, and £50,500 on solicitors' fees, all of which being purchased while she was still in high school. Kelly did make a few smart purchases such as an £180,000 bungalow and a £96,000 home for her mum. However, by the end of the year, Kelly was back to square one, being on welfare with only £2,000 left in her account. She's since stated it was too much.
Shawty went up 1.8 million and spent all of it down to $2,000 gang.
Money for someone so young. Even if you say your life won't change, it does, and often not for the better.
Yeah, I just wish I was a bit older at the time of winning it, because I think at 16 you're still just a child, and overnight you've just got to grow up and become an adult.
Which is probably why she's now an advocate for raising the UK's legal gambling age from 16 to 18. Kelly Rogers certainly spent her money poorly. However, at least she had the chance to spend it, as 25-year-old Amanda Clayton from Detroit was no longer alive by the end of her spending spree.
Damn, she
When
died!
Amanda won the $1 million jackpot back in 2011, it seemed as though her life had been changed overnight. However, her win quickly became controversial after the media learned that she was still collecting food stamps and benefit payments despite having won the lottery.
Detroit woman is now the second lotto winner in the state to keep taking food stamps after hitting it big. And Amanda Clayton, who won $1 million and took home a $700,000 lump sum, the 24-year-old says even though she now owns 2 homes, she figured she was still allowed to use a bridge card.
After being confronted about the behavior, Amanda had the following to say.
I thought that they would cut me off, but since they didn't, I thought maybe it was okay because I'm not working.
And surely
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Call me the bad guy. I don't blame her. If they giving her food stamps, she won the lottery, she don't work no more, they didn't cut her food stamps off, would you call the county and say, hey, I still got food stamps. Can you cut them off, please? You know I won a lottery. I don't want my food stamps no more. Cut them off. Thank you. You can't blame her for that, bro.
Thereafter, she was charged with 2 felony counts of welfare fraud and was ordered to pay back the $5,500 worth of food stamps she'd received. While Amanda quickly paid the $5,500 back, she never got the chance to spend the rest of the money, as only 6 months later she would unfortunately overdose in one of her 2 homes.
He says she was tormented by the fame and the problems that came with winning the lottery.
What's the point of having money if you're not going to have happiness?
He says she didn't want the money anymore and bought things for her family and set up college funds for her children. He says she only had $67,000 of her winnings left.
The end to Amanda Clayton's story was somewhat unexpected. However, a 2-second glance at Ryan McGee is more than enough to predict that this lottery win would eventually end in disaster. After winning £6.4 million back in 2008 at the age of 27, Ryan was placed on the Sunday Times Top 100 Rich list for young people. He purchased a luxury mansion in his home country of Ireland, which featured 5 bedrooms, an indoor swimming pool, a full champagne bar, and a 2-car garage where he kept his brand new Ferrari 458 Italia. However, as you might expect, this is where things began to go terribly. Only 3 years after buying the Ferrari, Ryan slipped off the road, crashing the car into a field, mainly because he was driving in the snow. Locals were amazed Ryan was driving the Ferrari in that weather, especially when he had a more suitable Range Rover he could use. The Ferrari was not understood to be running on winter tyres, which, while costing around £4,400, hugely boost grip and handling in icy conditions. Ryan's property development business then dissolved, which was accompanied by a divorce from his wife and the sale of his luxury home. Then, 2 years later, Ryan McGee was pulled over driving an uninsured Ford Focus without a license. However, the most interesting part is that he had to claim legal aid, which is a service for those who are unable to afford a lawyer. Now, Ryan McGee was a complete idiot with his money. However, he still looks like Albert Einstein when compared to Martin Todt. When Martin and his wife Kay won £3 million back in...
At the end of this video, bro, I'm going to explain to y'all why it's so many of like the lottery winners that money. I'm going to explain exactly why it's so many and why it's such a common occurrence.
2001, they didn't go in to claim the prize because, well, they had no idea that they were winners. They'd purchased a ticket in passing, completely forgotten about it, and would only come to realize that they were the winners after hearing about the unclaimed prize over 6 months later. The main problem was that at some point, the ticket had been misplaced or thrown out completely. Despite frantically searching, the pair couldn't find their ticket, but were sure they had won because the jackpot numbers matched the ones they used every week. Computer records in their local Londis proved Kay really had purchased the ticket, and the thrilled pair rushed to tell lottery organizer Camelot to claim their prize. But they fell victim to a little-known rule, stating lost tickets must be reported within 30 days. After 45 days of deliberation, Camelot told the devastated couple that they would not be collecting the jackpot, and as a result, the couple's marriage eventually came to an end. We'd only known each other for 2 years, and the lottery ordeal quickly highlighted our differences. All we did was bicker. Sadly, both of us agreed we should split, and Kay moved out.
Do you hear this, bro? Money just broke them up. The fact that they won a lottery but couldn't get their lottery ticket winnings made them bicker, and they moved out on each other because of money that they never had, bro.
Out. Martin seems to have convinced himself that losing the ticket ended up being a good thing, having stated, "For a long time I lost sight of who I was and what I believed in, but I can honestly say I'm glad I didn't get the 3 million now. There is no guarantee it would have brought me happiness, and if there's anyone else who would have agreed with this statement, it definitely would have been the most miserable lottery winner of all time, William Post. When William won a $16.2 million jackpot back in 1988, he had just $2.46 in his bank account and was able to purchase the lucky ticket by selling a ring for $40 to a local pawn shop. This, in conjunction with the time he'd spent in jail for cashing invalid checks, highlighted William Post's awful money management skills and acted as—
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I can see where this is going. He had $0, he pawned a ring for $40, and then bought a lottery ticket with the $40. I already know how this is going.
Foreshadowing for how poorly his lottery win was.
Lex, I got you on the screen. I'm just focused.
Only 84 days after receiving the $16.2 million, William Post had spent the entire fortune on a boat, a lease for a restaurant in Florida, a used car lot, as well as a private jet. However, even after all of the money had been spent, Post took on a further $500,000 loan to purchase a mansion in Oil City, Pennsylvania. The problem was that William hadn't actually purchased the original ticket himself and had rather given the money to his girlfriend who had bought the winning ticket for him. Because of this, she was able to successfully sue him for 1/3 of the winnings, meaning that Post now owed $5.4 million to his ex-girlfriend.
When that money get involved, you gonna see everybody true colors, bro. He gave the girl the money to go get the ticket, and she sued him for fucking 1/3 of the winnings.
The $16.2 million that he no longer had.
Dang.
Since Post was unable to make this payment, the judge ordered that his bank account be frozen until he was able to come up with the money. However, before he was able to sell enough stuff to pay the $5.4 million, William was arrested and ordered to serve a 6 to 24 month prison term for an assault charge from 6 years prior. Toward the end of his life, Post was on his 7th marriage with over $1 million in debt and was getting by on food stamps at a job paying $400.
He won 16 million. And eventually was in $1 million of debt.
$150 per month. However, William Post still doesn't have the craziest lottery win story of all time. That title goes to Andrew Jackson Whitaker, whose life would change forever after winning $315 million back in 2002. Unlike almost everyone else in this video, Whitaker was actually quite successful prior to winning the lottery, having built up a net worth of over $17 million with the assistance of his construction company. And while this would imply that he was in a position to manage a large lottery win, this isn't what would happen. Whitaker instantly donated 10% of the winnings to churches, Christian groups, and spent a further $14 million establishing the Jack Whitaker Foundation, which provided free food and clothing for low-income families in West Virginia.
Obviously, you're doing God's work with all this money.
Yes, I am. I'm helping a lot of people, and I plan to help a lot more.
He then drove back to the convenience store where he had purchased the ticket before giving the clerk a $44,000 check, a $123,000 house, and a brand new Jeep Cherokee, which was followed by Whitaker buying himself a Lamborghini, in which he'd drive around his neighborhood throwing money out of the window. After flaunting this wealth, his Lamborghini was broken into, where thieves stole $545,000 in cash. However, this apparently wasn't much of a wake-up call, as his car was then broken into for the second time, resulting in the loss of a further $200,000 cash.
Why the fuck is he walking around with $500,000 cash and $200,000 cash? They obviously see this nigga just giving out money. The nigga, what, bro? You just riding around with $500,000 in cash? Who the fuck you think he is, little baby? think he a rapper out this bitch? And then he got his whole 500,000 stole, and them niggas did it again and stole 200,000. I know you rich, gang, but 700,000 and 2 broken windows is crazy.
Whitaker's granddaughter passed away. His daughter then passed away, which was followed by a divorce with his wife.
And now you've lost your granddaughter. You're about to be divorced from your wife. Where does this ever end?
Leading him to state that he had lost everything.
I pretty much lost everything I held dear in my life.
You got lots of money.
Money has never meant anything to me. You have to have money to exist in this world, but money doesn't rule the world. Money is not what makes people happy.
And that he wished he had never purchased the lottery ticket in the first place.
Wow. My wife had said she'd wished that she'd torn the ticket up. Well, I wish that we had torn the ticket up too.
Alright, man. Wow. Now we gotta go to an AveryB app session on why I think that these people did the things that they did. For one, if you don't know, bro, a lot of people think when they get money, they become a whole new person. You know what I'm saying? Once they get money, they gonna be a real nigga. Once they get money, they gonna do this, they gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? Money literally amplifies the person you are currently. Meaning, if you are this type of person, if you get money, you are going to be a bigger version of that type of person, bro. You know what I mean? Money amplifies where you are. You need discipline and structure before you get and obtain riches, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of people fuck up because they want the money first. No, bro. You need the structure first. You need the discipline first. You need to be that person that is in control of that money before you get that money. The people that win the lottery all sporadic, they fuck it up because they go from $200 a week, you know what I'm saying, $200 a week job to fucking 200,000 a week. You can't go from 200 a week to 200,000 a week and be the same person, cause your mind can't fathom that shit, bro. And that goes the same. That works the same for people who blow up overnight. People who blow up overnight, they typically are going to crash out because they don't know what it took to get there. People who blow up overnight versus people who steadily climb the ladder. The people who steadily climb the ladder, they focus. They know what it took to get there. People who didn't know what it took to get there, they going to crash out. They going to crash and burn, bro. You know what I mean? That's why when people say they want stuff fast, I look at them like, nah, you don't want it fast. I guarantee you don't want that shit fast, bro. Cause you get it fast, you don't got the discipline, you don't got the focus, you don't got the mentality. You know what I'm saying? Also the delayed gratification, bro. You know what I'm saying? People like they sacrifice the short term pleasures. You know what I mean? Like you gotta understand that if it's given to you in such a small time frame, my nigga, it's crazy. Y'all get what I'm saying, bro? Camera qualify. You see it? Follow me. You know what I'm saying? If you get that shit so quickly, my nigga, you are going to spend it so quickly. You're gonna spend it as quick as you got it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the law of the universe. I feel the quicker you get something, the quicker you're gonna spend it. The longer you get something, the longer you're gonna spend it. You know what I'm saying? If you pay for something, you're gonna treat it like you paid for it. But if you feel like you just got it for no reason, you're gonna treat it like you got it for no reason. Perfect case scenario. OKQ gave away a Trackhawk. The nigga crashed the Trackhawk in like a week or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Why did he crash a fucking $100,000 car? Because he didn't pay his own $100,000 for that car. So he treated it like it was free. You know what I mean? Same thing that go with knowledge on the internet, bro. You know what you got to do in order to be what you want to be. But the fact that you ain't pay for it, you ain't going to take it in that type of regard. You know what I'm saying? When you pay for something, you pay attention more. It's crazy to think about, but that's true, bro. That's just, I don't know if that's human nature, but it got to be some type of human nature, bro. If you gain money without discipline, bro, you're going to be spending that shit so fast. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be spending that shit like it ain't nothing because you ain't used to it. You used to whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's people right now making $1 million a year still living paycheck to paycheck because they still mentally on that frequency of when they ain't had that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out of that ASAP. No cap. And that's my quick tangent on that, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Invest in XRP.